Good morning, my peoples, and good morning to every African out there. No matter anywhere you are living, I extend my greetings to every African out there. Today we sit down here again to emphasize on something. The typical post-colonial phase in African state is an artificial state. You have a country like Kenya, over 56 ethnies in order to balance the interests which are undercurrents, in order to balance the interests. Sometimes you put in your typical constitutions things that will traditionally ought not to build the, but we still have peoples who don't respect that constitutions. We still have peoples who feel like they are sorry for that, we have some little bit crack of the machines here. If things will be changed for Africa, many African leaders will be arrested right now and put in jail because they violate the constitutions, but the so-called EU and UK and USA defending them because they want leaders like that for Africa who will violate the constitution of Africa and who will abandon their peoples, who will feel that the constitution of Europeans and Americans should be respected more than the constitution of Africa. Any leader that will be, or that build a constitution that will favor his peoples, that leader will be called a dictator by Europeans, Americans, and UK. In order to make Africans remove that leader by themselves, we have to understand the game they are playing on us. We have to understand. My peoples, the Niger, let's go to Niger, let's start with Niger, whatever is happening in Niger. I want my Nigerian peoples to understand this, that they are dealing with the devils. The entire Africa must understand this, that Africa is fighting against the devils. We are not fighting against ordinary human beings. We are not fighting against peoples who just want to have something to eat, but we are fighting against peoples who will want to destroy the entire Africa, who will want to steal everything from Africa. They don't want to let Africans to have nothing in their hands. Niger, in a colonial system of France, built on Niger, was built like the uranium they were taken from Niger. They were taking it, 1 kilo cost 80 cents, 0.80 cents. 0.80 cents buying an uranium from Niger by through Bazoum regime. After Bazoum regime, we have Abdurrahman, the military coup leader in Niger, who took over power. Now says the uranium will not be sold 0.80% or 80 cents per kilo. It will be sold, the uranium in Niger will be sold 200 euro per kilo. And that is a great idea that I love so much, because that should be the normal price of the uranium that they are taking from Niger. How can you take the uranium from Niger and be giving them per kilo 80 cents? What is 80 cents in euro? Something that doesn't even reach 1 euro. They are buying the uranium from Niger before in Bazoum regime. They are taking, that is like free. We are giving uranium to them for free. And now that uranium, Abdurrahman have high the price of that uranium. And the Niger military coup leader Abdurrahman are finally arrested. I was so happy when I see this news. I was so happy when I received this news and watched the video where they arrested the France embassy, ready to deport him back to France. You know, my last video, I make it very clear that France embassy refused to leave Niger. And France is saying that their embassy will not leave. I said it, that the Niger coup leader is the one who made things to go far like this. Arrest him and deport him. Niger belongs to Africa. It doesn't belong to France. France should not decide who should stay in Niger and who should not stay in Niger. And today we are here. As I'm speaking to you, the France embassy was arrested by the Niger militaries and will be deported very soon back to France. He's been arrested because they seized water from their houses. They seized food from their houses. They arrest everything from them, but still they don't want to leave. France don't want to leave Niger. But as I'm speaking to you right now, France will leave Niger. France embassy is being arrested by the Niger military coup leader. And he's going to be deported back to France. The same way you deported black migrants, the same way your embassy is going to be deported. And that is a very great idea. And this is what we are expecting from African leaders. Should act like this. Europeans should not capture Africa for decades and still be capturing Africa. If not the laziness of African leaders. There was a coup also attempted. You know, whatever is happening in Africa, we have to look into it. And we have to know what is going on in Africa. And we have to really understand the game that is playing on Africa. There are many games they are playing on Africa right now. There are many gems. These people will not let Africa go without we standing up with our feet. Where are we supposed to stand? They will not let Africa to go. Each and every day they have a plan towards Africa. Each and every day they are making plans towards Africa. And what are we going to do? We the Africans have to understand what game are they playing on us. A coup attempted in Burkina Faso on Ibrahim Traoré was not ordinary coup, was a planned coup that was planned against him, but didn't prosper. Thank God that it wasn't prosper. But if it was prosper, then Burkina will go back to the slavery. So we have to know whatever is going on in Africa right now. There are so many things that Americans are recruiting right now. They are recruiting terrorist groups. France also is recruiting terrorist group in Niger. If you check Niger right now, all the terrorists that have been captured, put in prison, they were all released by France militaries. All the terrorists, the bandits in Niger that was captured by France militaries in Niger were all released by France militaries again. Why? Because they want to make crime. They want to make war in Niger. By Africa saying that we don't want to work with Europeans or Americans or UK. Now you are trying to make war in our continent for no reason. But we the Africans have never made any crime or any war zone in European countries. But why do you people still insisting we must rule Africa by force and in the name of all the colonial debt? I will go into the colonial debt a little bit. It's because Africans are not understanding the game. Let's go back to the colonial debt. They said in the name of the colonial debt, Africa will not go away from them. Africa must stay. They use Africa. They must take African resources because Africa is owing them in the colonial system debt. In the name of the colonial debt. But let's talk about the colonial debt. What is the colonial debt? That they have colonized us, so we are owing them. When you enslave our forefathers, you steal our resources. You know, when we understand what debt means, we have to ask Europeans, Americans for our debt because they are owing us. They are owing us. Africa and West, who is owing who? The West is owing Africa. Westerners are owing Africa. You can't pay what you have stolen from Africa. And you say today, Africa cannot go away from you because of due to the colonial debt. How much do we owe you? Count them. And we will tell you how much you owe us. Killing our forefathers, enslaving our forefathers, stealing our natural resources, stealing our mineral resources, assassinating so many great African leaders. Can you pay for that? Can the West pay for this? They can't pay for this. They have been stealing from Africa for almost 600 years now. Stealing from Africa resources. You steal our resources. Since 1850s, you have been stealing from Africa. Since 1850s. Europeans, Americans, UK have been stealing from Africa. Gold, diamonds, silver, uranium, platinums, and so on. But now you say Africa is owing you. Due to the colonial debt, Africa will not go away from you. Due to the colonial debt, Africa shouldn't go anywhere. Africa should stay in the hand of you peoples. We should stay. You use us. France says Africa is owing them due to the colonial debt. That's why they don't want to let Africa go. That is because African leaders are not ready to be united. If not, another man sitting in his land and is telling you that you are owing me when he used your forefathers, when he steal every good resources in your continent and take it away. You never tell him that you are owing me. But today he's telling you that you can't get yourself because you are owing me. You can't choose a leader for yourself because you are owing me. That's what they are telling Africans right now. Africans don't have the right to choose leaders for themselves because they say the colonial debt. Let me tell Europeans, you are owing Africans and you can never pay it back. You cannot be able to pay Africans back what you are owing Africans. This is what I want my people to understand, my African people to understand, that if they tell you that due to the colonial debt we are owing Europeans, they are owing us what they can't even imagine. It's uncountable. What Europeans are owing Africa is uncountable. But today, since 400 years ago, colonial debt, stealing our resources, stealing our oil, stealing our gas, stealing our platinums, diamonds, silvers, golds, and they still say, yeah, we are taking them because you are owing us debt, colonial debt. They will come to your country and take your uranium away. They say colonial debt. They will go to another country, take their gold. They say colonial debt. They will go to another country, take their gas. They say colonial debt. So Africa don't have right to speak anymore. African leaders are not speaking because the only thing they are afraid of when they tell them, hey, you are owing us colonial debt. The colonial debt. Who is owing who? If they say the colonial debt. When you already use our forefathers and already stole our resources, now you come and colonize us again, because before colonization will come, slavery was there. Before we will come to the colonization of Africa, before Europeans, Americans will colonize Africa, UK, before they will colonize Africa, there was slavery first. Stealing our peoples, killing our innocent peoples, enslaving our great-grandfathers. Then later the colonization came. You colonize us. What have you done for us that we are owing you? Do you have ever built any factory in Africa since you colonized Africa? So what are we owing you? That the false currency you create for Africans, are they owing you? Because that currency, every benefit of franc CFA in Africa or any other currency in Africa, the benefit have been paid to the Western peoples. The Westerners have been collecting them. But now they are telling Africa that Africa can't go away from them because Africa is owing them the colonial debt. Colonialism is over. We offer it for a very long time. You want to steal from Africa, you didn't know how to do it. You didn't know what to tell Africans while you forcing yourself on them. You didn't want to tell Africans that we can't stay without you people, please help us. You didn't want to say that. You are now, in the name of colonialism, you are saying Africa is owing us. Instead of for you, the Europeans, Americans, UK, to say to Africans that Africa, we can't go away from you people because without you people, we can't survive. So help us. We will help you. When you tell us we will help you, Africans have masses. I said it for a very long time. Africans have too much love for Western peoples, while Western peoples have no love for Africa. Africans have millions of love for Western peoples, while Western peoples have no love for Africa. They have no sympathy for Africans. They don't feel Africans, but Africans still feel the Western peoples. That's why we keep on being with them. That's why we keep on giving our resources to them. And our leaders still don't understand the system that the West is using on Africa. People who know the system will never go into the power. Because the West rule the political system of Africa. They decide who become the ruler of Africa, who become the president, or who will not become the president. They choose leader for Africans. And Africans have never choose leader for Europeans. Europeans have been doing their election over and over, changing leaders anyhow. But Africa have never involved in their elections or in their political systems. But they put themselves in African political system to make sure that they control, they are in charge of African political system. They have to choose leaders for Africans. And if there is any misconduct or miselection, they have to be the one to call on, Africans have to call on to the West to come and judge it. It's a big shame on Africa when Africans have a problem in their political system or in their election system. They have to call the West, their enemies, to come and sit down and judge it for them. That's why we are not having a good leader. Whenever we have elections in African countries, we see a leader ruling who nobody vote for. That should be a question we should all ask ourselves. Why are always, anytime in election in Africa, a leader go into power that nobody vote for him? And all the country is still against him after election. So who vote for him? Because our votes are not counting in Africa. We are not ourselves in Africa. We are being controlled by the West. And that's what we want to cut off right now. We will no more be controlled by the West. Today forcing themselves on France, on Niger. France is in Niger. American militaries are in Niger. America have almost over 1,000 militaries in Niger right now. Almost over 1,000, 1,100 militaries in Niger right now. American militaries. We have France militaries. We have American troops there. American troops in Niger. How many times do Niger send their militaries to France? How many times do Niger send their militaries to America? Why European Union trying to put their military bases in Africa when Africans have no African military base in Europe? All in the name of, they say we are owing them colonial debt. They own us. Till they finish collecting their debt, we have nowhere to go. This is the only reason. The only reason that Europeans, Americans can say is that Africa is owing us. So till we finish taking our debt, Africa is going nowhere. So now it's by force. We must stay in their hand and they use Africa like a toy by force. War. My people, war. What we are running away from, that's what we have to do. I speak loudly in media to say this, that Africa can never get themselves out from the West till we try or till we figure out that the only language that the West can understand is to start massacring them in Africa. That is the only language they will understand. The West don't understand the language of coming together and speak. No. The West don't understand when you tell them leave our countries. No. Africans must understand that. The only language that the West understand is war. Like Vladimir Putin doing to them right now. They all understand the language of Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is never speaking. The Russian president is never speaking out to the Europeans. But they understand his language. What language is Vladimir Putin using? Russia is using the language of weapon. And that is the only language that Western peoples understand. They don't understand the language of let's come together and speak and settle things. Or leave us alone. They don't understand those languages. Russia try to speak. But Russia have found out that the only language that the West can understand, the entire West can understand, is the language of weapon. And Africa must also understand that if they want the Western peoples to go away from them, the only language they should be speaking to them is the language of weapons. That's why I'm so happy when African militaries are now involved in African liberation. That is a chance of having access to weapons in Africa. I have been crying out in 2021 to 2022 that militaries must help us, must come. We need them in the base of liberation. Because they have the power. The second power in a country is militaries, after the president. So when militaries are in the liberation and are ready to join us, we are going to liberate Africa. Because the only language that the West can understand is military weapons. The West will not understand when we stand, we say, we don't want France, we don't want France. How many times Niger have been crying, France will go away. But France still insists. And France President Macron is standing inside France saying that without France, that and Africa will not be a system. That is a word from Macron, the France president. You will not believe it that France president is sitting in France and saying that without France, Africa will not be assisted. When only Niger stop pushing uranium to Europe, they lose light energy. Some parts of France will not have light. Only for a moment, Niger stop the pushing of uranium. The pushing of uranium to Europe, Niger stop it just 1 week. France lose light energy. And France president is not feeling the same. He's sitting in France and saying that without France, Africa will not go forward. Without France, the entire Africa will not be a system. What did France do for Africa? What did France give to Africa? Creating false currency for Africans that is called France CFA. Stealing their resources, the Francophone countries. Burkina, Mali, Niger, Guinea-Bissau, Congo, Togo, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, the part of Cameroon. And France is saying now, you know, France is a country that I hate so much, and I've been saying it since 2019, that France have caused so many wars in Africa. And it's enough is enough. Without France, Africa will live without war. Without America, Africans will live without war, without going into any conflict. Without UK, Africa will live without going into any conflict. But because as far as these peoples are still in Africa, we will always have conflict in African countries. We will always have war in African countries. Because every terrorist group that was created in Africa, it was created by the Westerners to make sure that Africa is unstable, to make sure that they could have chance to say, we want to help this country because there is many killing there. In the name of helping, they are stealing your resources. We understand that gem. We already understand that gem, that every terrorist group in Africa that was created by the Western peoples to make sure that Africa is unstable. We understand it. But what Africans must understand right now is, I'm speaking to the militaries, Assimi Goïta from Mali, Ibrahim Tarawale, Mamadou Doumbouya, and Abdurrahman in Niger. They must understand this, that France will not go away, America will not go away because they don't understand the language of speaking. The language of tongue, they don't understand it. The only language they understand is language of weapon. We must understand that. The language of weapon. When you don't start taking them out one by one, they will not leave Africa. That is the only language they will understand. The West is not ready to leave Africa alone. Because they know when they leave Africa alone, they are going down. The West cannot go without Africa. We have seen it. Come on, we live in the West and we know what is going on in the West here. When Africa stopped pushing uranium, we know what happened here. When Africa stopped feeding Europe, we know what happened here. When Africa stopped giving gas to Europe, we know what happened here. We know it. We know what is going on here. So when I'm speaking, I know Africa and I know here. Africa can stay without Europe. I was in Africa, born in Africa, grown in Africa. So I'm in West. When Africa stop pushing anything to the West, then the West suffer. As I'm telling you, for a moment that Niger stop pushing uranium, France lose light energy. And light energy become more cost in Europe, in the West. In Europe here, light energy become more cost and gas energy become more costly. Because Africa is not giving gas, Africa is not giving uranium, and light energy and gas energy become more cost. We must understand, they will not go away from Africa. But we have puppet leaders in Africa who are pretending to be there for their peoples, but while being there for the West and fighting for the freedom of the West, and they are the leaders, puppet leaders, who are showing way to the West how to steal African resources. My people, is so sad. Among these leaders, we have Ghana President Akufo-Addo, who is a puppet. we have Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who if FBI have been hiding his secret, Ahmed Bola Tinubu. The main reason that the FBI refused to bring out the secret of Bola Tinubu because they knew that Bola Tinubu can be used for this mission to fight against Niger. But if Bola Tinubu is unable to fight against Niger or to bring Bazoum into power, then believe me, the FBI are going to bring out the secret of Bola Tinubu. The FBI is hiding the file of Bola Tinubu. The case of Bola Tinubu, they step on it. The FBI step on it. Why? Because they want to use Bola Tinubu to fight against these countries. And Bola Tinubu will do everything for FBI not to reveal his power, his secret. The document will be revealed if Bola Tinubu refused to invade Niger. That's why immediately as Bola Tinubu came into power, FBI have this secret file of Bola Tinubu. Instead to reveal it to Africans, no, they called Bola Tinubu and put him as the chairman of ECOWAS instantly. Bola Tinubu go into power, was the last president to go into power in Africa. When he go into power, what happened? Immediately they make him the chairman of ECOWAS because they know Bola Tinubu is the best man to be used to fight against these countries that are ready to liberate themselves. They will use Bola Tinubu to invade these countries that are ready to liberate themselves. Countries like Niger, Mali, and Burkina, and Guinea, Gabon, Sudan. So they know Bola Tinubu will be the best person to be used. That's why the FBI, as Bola Tinubu go into power, they reveal this to Bola Tinubu that the FBI have filed against you. And if you don't want the file to be revealed to your people, you have to do what we said. We make you the chairman of ECOWAS. You have to do what we said. As they make Bola Tinubu the chairman of ECOWAS, instantly they started using Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu do whatever the West says. Because Bola Tinubu know the FBI holding some secret of him. And the main reason the FBI refused to reveal that secret is because Bola Tinubu was doing whatever they says. Bola Tinubu is not himself. Bola Tinubu will never stand and tell Nigerians that he is not himself. But it's the high time, Bola Tinubu, you came out and make it clear to Nigerians that the FBI have filed against you. And you stop accepting the order from the West. It's high time you unite with your fellow Africans because the day you will come down from that power as a president, the day your time will end as a president, there will be no Western peoples to support you. You will not even, no Western country will accept you. I don't know if you understand that. There are many leaders like you that pass out. One example like Mali president. Mali former president Ibrahim, who is currently known as Ibeka. Mali former president before Assimi Goïta will make a coup. Mali former president was used by France, threatening him and accepting orders from France. Immediately they throw him out. France ordered the release of Ibrahim because France was trying to murder Ibrahim not to reveal the secret of France to Assimi Goïta. They were asking Assimi Goïta to release Ibrahim to them. After Assimi Goïta releasing Ibrahim to them, to France, in 1 week, not up to 1 week, Ibrahim died. France have poisoned Ibrahim and killed him. For Ibrahim, the Mali former president, not to reveal the secret of France. That's why right now France is also asking for the release of Bazoum. If Bazoum is released right now, Bazoum will be killed by France. I tell you, Bazoum will be poisoned. Bazoum will be poisoned right now. If Bazoum is released right now, France is doing everything for Bazoum to be released. Bazoum should be released. If Abdurrahman, the military coup leader, release Bazoum to France government right now, I tell you, Bazoum will be poisoned and be killed because Bazoum, they don't want Bazoum to reveal the secret of France. As the same as they do Mali. To ask for the release of Mali former president Ibrahim. After Assimi Goïta released Ibrahim, they poison Ibrahim. Not up to 1 week, they kill Ibrahim. Ibrahim is no more. This is what France do. This is what the entire West do to Africa. So this is what Ahmed Bola Tinubu, Akufo-Addo, Senegal President Macky Sall, Gambian President, you all must understand that the West is using you today not because they love you. You are laughing with the Western peoples not because they like you, they can protect you. No, the West don't like you. They want you to be in front to steal your resources and give it to them. They want you to be there as their bodyguard when they came to Africa to steal our resources. This is what you must understand. The Gambian president, Senegal president, all of you must understand this. Africa is not a continent where we will let puppets to come and steal. Somebody was commenting. I've been seeing so many good comments, and thank you for those who are doing a beautiful comments. And thank you also for RS106 who was also doing some stupid comment. Traitors of Africa. We understand. You think we don't understand? We understand. We have black men who are living in a black skin, but inside they are white. They will die by fighting, by defending the West. No matter what, even if they understand, no matter how you explain it to them, they will not understand. We have those black peoples in Africa. We have those Africans among us who will be there as a threat to African liberation, who will be fooled, will not understand. No matter how you explain to them, they will never understand. You know why? They are white man in black skin. So we understand. Since 1850, 1860, we have black people like you. So we don't blame people like you like this. No. We know it is normal. We still have more in Africa. White man living in black skin, we still have more of them in Africa. Like the stupid African leaders right now. So we still have more like you in Africa. White man living in black skin. Somebody was talking about democracy. Well, many Africans will not understand democracy. Democracy is not for Africans. Democracy, we have a definition of democracy. And democracy as democracy is supposed to be, when democracy describe and form for Africans like that, it may be even a little bit better. But African democracy is not the real definition of democracy. It is a man-made democracy. African democracy is a man-made democracy that was really made to destroy Africa. African democracy was created by a group of people who sat down and write down and form the definition of African democracy and give it to Africans. That's why democracy was never good for Africans. If not, the real definition of democracy could be a better thing for Africa without this man-made democracy. We have a group of people who sat down and wrote down a definition of democracy for Africans so that Africans will be caged in this democracy. Whenever any African country refuses to accept democracy into their countries, that African country go away from war and conflict and other things in the country. But whenever any African country immediately join democracy, the West feel happy. I remember vividly when the Gambian former president Yahya Jammeh refused to accept democracy, the West was angry. And most of the Gambians were shouting, "We want democracy!" But they don't understand why the former president refused to accept democracy. The former president refused to accept democracy. He said no to democracy in Gambia. For 22 years, he has been ruling Gambia. He refused to accept democracy. The West hate him. He refused to say yes to the West always. He always said to the West, no. He refused to accept to be used by the West. He was there to fight for Africans, to fight for Gambia. The former president of Gambia. When Gambians was having oil that time, I remember, when he called on to China to come and help Gambians on that oil. The Chinese says, when they bring out the oil, Gambia is going to take 40% and they take 60%. I remember vividly when the Gambian former president says, he is not going to let Chinese to take 60%. Gambia is going to take 70% and China take 30%. Oh, Chinese will do the job and let them say their price, he will pay them. Not by sharing the oil percentage, because the oil belongs to his peoples. Chinese said no, they want 60% and Gambia take 40%. He said then leave it. That's why for 22 years Gambian oil was not out. He forget about it because he know that when the West is going to produce that oil, they need more percentage, and he is never ready to give Gambian oil out like that for free. When the Gambian new president come in, Adama Barrow, what did he do first? Oh, the West was telling him, Mr. President, you know, you are very good. You know, you are very, very good president. I know. And what do you think about democracy? Yeah, democracy is good, and we will go into democracy, you know, as a leader of democracy, this, that. He didn't understand. I was so sad that Gambian president right now, Adama Barrow, before he became a president, he was in Germany working like a migrant. From Germany, he went to UK. From Germany himself, before he go to UK, he deported himself because German was too difficult for him. The Gambian president right now, he deported himself back to Gambia because German was too difficult. So I think as a man who live in Germany as a migrant, working like a slave for white peoples, and go to Inglaterra also, be a gate man, guiding peoples, working like a slave, you should understand the system. So when you become a leader in Africa, I think you should be wiser than any other African leader because you live among your enemies, so you know the system of them. You know what they do, what they plan. So when he finally became the president, first of all, they call him in Chattanham. The people who support him in his political career, Tony Blair and Boris Johnson and other puppets and other racist peoples in UK, they call him in Chattanham about the LGBTQ, to ask him about the LGBT, because that was the main reason they supported him in his political career to become a president in Gambia. That was the main reason Tony Blair and Boris Johnson in UK supported the Gambian president to push him into power. When they call him in UK in Chattanham, they ask him two questions that are very relevant to them, but not relevant to Africans. Number one was the democracy. Mr. President, how do you see democracy? Oh, democracy, we are already in democracy. Now that country, we change it. We accept democracy. Okay. Mr. President, you see, oh, that is very good. As I think your people will be very happy about you. These are the things they were telling him, but he don't understand. As a white man praising you, meaning that you are a fool. That's what you must understand. A white man can never praise a black man when you are not a fool. They only call a black intelligent man a stupid man. But they only call a black fool. A black fool, they only praise you always. You are good, you are nice, you are intelligent. No, you are a fool. If a black man, white man stand to praise you, he is killing you. That's why he's praising you. He is not praising you. He is proud of what he is taking away from you. Not you. He don't like you. So they were praising him in Chattanham when he already accepted the democracy in Gambia. Number two, Mr. President, what do you think about this LGBT man and man, woman and woman? He said, I think for me, it is not a problem in my country. This was the word from the president. I watched the video almost 2 hours. I was sitting and watching that video. He said, no, it's not a problem, you know. For me, everyone is equal in my country. We are trying to fight for this equal right and justice. So I think it's normal in my country. We don't have problem. This is not a problem of my country. LGBTQ is not a problem of your country. As a president, you sit and tell the white people that LGBT, because you know when you tell them that I will not accept LGBT, that you know that they don't want to hear that. You know it. That white people don't want to hear that. That as an African leader, you don't want to accept LGBTQ. You know it. The Gambian president know it. And these two reasons, to put Gambia into democracy and to put Gambia into global economy and to put Gambia into LGBTQ. LGBTQ was first represented by American president to the Gambian former president, who refused to accept. The Gambian former president, Yahya Jammeh, that's why I love him so much. You know, that man, I will wish for that man to become a president again in Gambia. If that man cannot become a president in Gambia, I will wish somebody to become a president in Gambia who will be more dictatorship than that man. Yahya Jammeh is not a dictator, but we understand when Western peoples describe our leaders as a dictator, we understand that they are the good leaders for Africa. The ones they call dictators, they are the good leaders for Africa. The one they call good leaders, they are the bad ones for Africans. Because as an African leader, when you wicket your own people, you become harsh on your own peoples, the West call you a good leader. As an African leader, when you feel your peoples, you fight for your peoples, they call you, you know what they call you, how they call you. When you stand for your people, fight for your people, they call you a dictator. So I think every African must be used to this system now. We must understand the game that West is playing or not. You know, because they make us like this to remove our good leaders by ourselves. At the end of the day, like they removed Mohamed Gaddafi and the Gambian former president, by using your own peoples against you, telling your own people your president is a dictator, your president is a dictator, and everybody, Africans started to wake up and remove the good president that they have. They didn't understand the game that the West was playing on you. This is what the West have been doing to us for many decades now. Africans use their own hands by killing their own great peoples. Why? Because the West told them that they are bad people, so they are dictators. This is the fact. But I think right now, as we are speaking, many Africans have already woke up. And I'm proud of Africans, seeing every corner of Africa, the youths have woke up to know their right and to know what belongs to them and to take it, either in peace or in pieces. That is the only way. We must understand the game these people play on Africa. We must emphasize it to our peoples, to let our peoples know that Africa must be free. Gaddafi was good. There was no leader in Africa that was hard working like Mohamed Gaddafi. At that moment, in Mohamed Gaddafi regime, there was no leader at that moment who was working harder like Mohamed Gaddafi. Mohamed Gaddafi was understanding, was working hard for his peoples, was trying to make sure that his peoples are never lack of anything in that country. That's why Libyans were never going out for hustle, because they have everything in the country. You need car is in the country. Any kind of car you need, the country is creating it by itself. Fuel is there, cheap price. To build a house cheap, food as cheap, everything is cheap in the country. Mohamed Gaddafi was paying every Libyan citizen every month. Mohamed Gaddafi was giving money to every Libyan that want to get married. Mohamed Gaddafi was giving the chance to every Libyan male child to become a military. Mohamed Gaddafi worked hard. Make light free for Libyans. Libyans were never paying light bill. Libyans were never paying water bill. There is no country in this planet or no continent in this planet that have it except Mohamed Gaddafi. No president will raise his hand since the world was created. No president will raise his hand and said, in my country, I work hard and make sure that my people have light free and water free. Mohamed Gaddafi was the first president since the earth was created. Was the first leader who created this opportunity for his peoples. But what happened at the next? When Mohamed Gaddafi was creating these things, opportunities for his peoples, the West was not worried. They were saying like, okay, it's okay. As far as he's doing it for only Libyans, he is not trying to emphasize it to another African country so we can steal from other African countries. It's okay. Well, the time that Mohamed Gaddafi stood up and said, the whole Africa must be united. When Mohamed Gaddafi finally realized that if only Libya is liberated and all other African countries are not liberated, then still Libya is not liberated, because we will still run and come to Libya. And that is going to be a disaster for him. So he have to make sure that all Africans are united and let Africa be built by Africans and let Africa use one currency, one passport, and one military and one leadership. This was the biggest problem for the West. They knew that Mohamed Gaddafi have the power and the experience and the plan that he can do it. They didn't say, no, he cannot do it. No, they believe this and they know this, that Mohamed Gaddafi have the power and the capacity to do it. because they know who is Mohammed Gaddafi. Whatever he wants, he do it. He have resources. He will not beg nobody for nothing. He can do everything by himself. His currency is in the island. His currency is not like France CFA or any other African currency out there. Mohammed Gaddafi currency, there was sometimes that Mohammed Gaddafi, the Libyan currency dinar, was even higher than the euro. That was some time that the Mohammed Gaddafi currency, Libyan currency, was higher than the euro. So Mohammed Gaddafi have the power. So what do they do next? To tell Libyans that Mohammed Gaddafi is a dictator, Mohammed Gaddafi is a terrorist, is this, is that. Libyans started to fight against Mohammed Gaddafi. They started to create some terrorist groups, started to send some weapons to Libya, started to form some of their own part of militaries in Libya, among Libyan militaries, and started to fight against Mohammed Gaddafi. This is how Libya destroyed begins. And later they said, Mohammed Gaddafi, your people say they don't want you, come down. You have to go down. If you don't go down, America is shouting, if you don't go down, we will invade Libya. France is shouting, if you don't go down, we will invade Libya. From there, we hear Germany shouting, if you don't go down, we will invade your country. All these countries that were shouting on Mohammed Gaddafi before, all these countries are countries that were owing Mohammed Gaddafi billions of euros. They couldn't pay it back. That's why they were the first people to shout, because they were praying for Mohammed Gaddafi to go down so that they will not be able to pay those debt. They were owing Mohammed Gaddafi $1 billion. The World Bank today is not saying nothing. The World Bank is owing Mohammed Gaddafi. Why they don't return the money? Even if Mohammed Gaddafi is dead, Libya still have government. Why they don't return the money to Libyan militaries? The World Bank is owing Mohammed Gaddafi. The World Bank is a thief. They are thieves. The World Banks, they are thieves. I'm the one who said it. My message should reach to the World Bank. I said they are thieves. The World Bank is a Western bank that is the Eastern Western terrorist or Western bandit bank that they steal from Africa and store it there. The World Bank is a thief bank. It's a criminal bank. The human rights, so-called human rights organization that was built by Western peoples, the so-called terrorist organization that they call human rights organization. I call it a terrorist organization. Human rights organization is a terrorist organization. The so-called European Union. Who is European Union? We must understand something. These people are terrorists and they are killers and they are thieves. But nobody is calling them that name. Nobody. Everybody feel afraid to call them that name. Well, there must be people who will not feel afraid to die or feel afraid to be locked up. And they will speak out the truth as is this. Africa will not lose. Africa always have people who will never fear to die. They will always come out to speak the truth. When you kill one, 2 will come. When you kill 2, 10 will come. You can't stop Africans from rising. Because whenever you see, the West understand this, that whenever they assassinated an African great man, they see another young great ones wake up again. When they kill 1, 2 wake up. When they kill 2, 4 wake up. When they kill 4, 8 wake up. And this is how it will be going. So, till we all wake up. Till a time when you kill thousands, you see 2,000 wake up. And you will be tired. When you assassinated John Pombe Magufuli, you assassinated, when they assassinated Mohammed Gaddafi, Jammeh was there, the Gambian former president, and John Pombe Magufuli was there. They killed Mohammed Gaddafi, assassinated Mohammed Gaddafi. 2 great leaders came out again to stand like Mohammed Gaddafi. Then they pushed Gambians to remove the former president of Gambia, Jammeh. And they poisoned John Pombe Magufuli. We have another great leaders again. They assassinated those great leaders. We have Pan-Africans. They try to put Pan-Africans in prison by their governments. We have another Pan-Africans again. Now we have militaries on text. We have no more Pan-Africans, but we have militaries and Pan-Africans. Militaries who are even becoming Pan-Africans. That's what is happening right now. Militaries are becoming Pan-Africans in Africa, and that is very interesting to see a military becoming a Pan-African, because we need them on the board. They are the only peoples who can help us. Not to speak for us, not to fight for us, protect us. Let us do the job. We don't need the militaries to fight. We don't need them to die for us. No. Just protect us. And we will do the fight. We will do the speaking. We will do the awakening for Africans. We understand the game. So till they understand this, that Africa can never be stopped of a rising. Poverty in Africa is not like Africans, it's a system on Africa. That even in Europe, we have a system on European citizens. You know, it's not only in Africa that the Westerners are destroying. They even destroy their own people, because in their own people, in their own countries, if you come to the West, they have a system on their own people. Whoever is rich will remain rich forever. Whoever is poor will remain poor. His generation will come, they will remain poor. Whoever is rich in Europe will remain rich forever. But whoever is also poor will remain poor forever in Europe. Their own citizens. Their own European citizens. Their own citizens don't even understand that system. Mostly, I don't talk about their system because I don't care whatever they do there with their peoples. They do with their peoples. So the same, they put it like a general system as a general system on Africans. That African soil is rich, but Africa will never be rich. Africans are never going to be rich. They will always remain in poverty, in hunger. When Africa have everything on under their legs, but they will still be poor. To bend down to pick it, they will be unable to do it. You are searching for food. When you are walking, you find food lying down on the floor. To bend down to work to pick it, you couldn't do it. So that is Africa. We have everything on under our legs, but to bend down and pick it, Africa cannot. Why? Because we are afraid that the West is looking at us. And that's why the West tell us that those foods under our legs are not good, are bad foods. But the West is coming to Africa to take that food from under our legs. And the same West is telling us that those food under our legs are not good. We believe it. We must understand the system of the West, my peoples. We must understand. Coups in Africa, people says military ruling. I saw someone, I don't know what is his name, though. I watch him on a TV show saying that the coups in Africa, we are proud of it, but it's not good, you know, it's bad because democracy is something that must be stay in Africa. Democracy is good in Africa. We must understand. Nobody wants war in Africa. We the Africans, when we unite, when we stick together, when our brains is always in the same target, we are going to understand that coup in Africa can never cause war in Africa. Because no matter how militaries make coup against a leader who is foolish and who is a puppet, who is a threat to Africa. Militaries made a coup to a leader who is bad. Even we citizens, we don't appreciate that leader. Militaries don't make a coup to a president that was supported by the whole country. Do that happen? No. So militaries make a coup against a leader who we already don't like. So who will make the war? Are we going to fight the militaries because they make coup against a leader who is disturbing us every day? Who is killing us every day? Are we going to fight the militaries because they bring that bad leader down? Instead, we will be supporting them. So if we support them, there will be no war. Military coup can never make a war in a country. It's only that when we the citizens, some of the African citizens will be paid by the West to go and make problems saying that, oh, we want our president back, we want our president back. In Niger, it happened. When they pay some youths to boycott and go and stand on their own saying that we want Bazoum, we want democracy. Those youths were paid by the West to do that job. In Ghana, it happened. In Niger coup time, there are some Ghanaians and some Nigerians who they pay in Ghana to go and do demonstration on the street to say that we want Bazoum, we want Bazoum. They were doing it. As I'm sure many of you have watched those videos. So the West is causing that. They pay those Africans. So when those Africans are intelligent, they will not allow the West to pay them to go to the street to cause conflict. Because those are the things that make conflict, that cause conflict in a country. Because the West didn't know what to say, why they want to invade Niger. They didn't know what to say because they have already seen that Niger citizens are in support of the coup. And all Africans youths are in support of the coup. So they didn't know what to say because they cannot invade Niger when the citizens are happy with the military leader. They cannot. The world will judge them for it. The world is going to judge them for it. Why do you want to invade Niger when we ask them? When you ask them today, why do you want to invade Niger? Why do you want to fight the military coup leader? What will they say? Nothing. But to have something to say, they have to pay some African youths to go out on the street and say, we want Bazoum in the power, we want democracy, so that when they want to invade Niger or fight against the military coup leader Abdurrahman, they will say, oh, because we have seen some citizens are against him and they want democracy, they want this. So you see, the West use Africa to find something to say, how they will destroy Africa. So that's why I speak to Africans. We must understand. Don't let the West to pay you to go and do demonstration. When inside you know that coup that happened in Niger is a good thing for Africa. But you have been paid. So many youths have been paid. They gather some Niger citizens, some Ghanaian citizens in Ghana, inside Ghana. They paid them to go and do demonstration. That's what those youths were paid by the ECOWAS leaders, by Bola Tinubu and his fellow puppets. So we have to understand this. I understand the strategy they were using in Ghana. Before their meeting in Ghana, they prepare youths who will go and do demonstration and be saying that we want democracy. That's all they need. They pay those youths and tell them that what all we need is you go out on the street and say we want democracy. That's all we need. They pay those youths to do that job. During the meeting of the ECOWAS meeting in Ghana, Accra, those youths were doing demonstration, so that the West will have something to say why they want to invade Niger. So they were doing all those things. Those rubbish. Those youths also go out on the street. After that meeting in Ghana, the ECOWAS meeting in Ghana, do you ever see any youth coming out saying that we want democracy? Do you ever see it? You can never see it because they were paid to do it that day. From that day, they have no job again. Unless if they pay them again to go and do it again. But from that day, because ECOWAS know that day is the day for meeting in Ghana, Accra, and ECOWAS leaders have paid some African youths to do that fake demonstration, so that they will have something to say. And they pay some fake journalists to publish it out. All because we are not wise. As me right now, who will pay me to go and do demonstration and say I want democracy? If you tell me I want to pay you to go and do demonstration, I will boof you that moment. The moment you open your mouth to tell me that go and shout on the street say you want democracy, I will poof you. There is no amount of money that you will pay me. So we understand. Sorry guys for. So we understand. Sorry guys for that system hack. I think somebody was trying to interrupt my life, was calling me. Reject, call, reject, call, reject. So those are the puppets. Somebody have my number, was calling me just to interrupt my life, so I understand the system. But tell the person to call again. I don't know why Africans are like this. Somebody was intentionally just trying to interrupt my life, was calling me. Why? When you do this, I block you. You don't understand. Somebody was intentionally doing it just to interrupt my life. Because when you are speaking about this something, there are some even are white peoples who will just keep on tapping, calling me. Some are even white peoples. Some are even my fellow black peoples who will just see me live like this. They don't like what I am saying about white people. They don't like it. Some fellow blacks living in Europe here, they don't like what I say about white peoples. When I say white people are evils, they don't like it. My fellow blacks. But I understand. We understand. People like that must be on the way, on the journey of liberation, so that we could teach them a lesson. People like them must assist, so that we will also learn. Because without them, we will not learn on the journey. But on the journey of liberation, God bring people like this as an obstacle so that we will learn. But they can never conquer us. We conquer them and pass. So whenever we conquer an enemy like this, we learn. We learn that when another person came like that, we will know how to tackle them. We will not be surprised and we will not be worried. A person who don't have difficulties in his life will not learn and will not know nothing. You have to pass through some difficulties when you want to achieve something. You have to pass through some difficulties or some obstacles so that you will learn. And when you achieve that thing finally, you will not joke with it. So to gain the freedom of Africa, it's not going to be like we sit and speak and we get freedom. No. I tell you this, no matter how many coups we make in Africa, we are still not free. You know what will happen? What will make Africa to be free? We must pass through a difficulty. An obstacle are in Africa. An obstacle white mans are in Africa. They must be taken out. Africa cannot get the West away from Africa without making a conflict with the West. We must agree. We must accept that we are trying to run away from that conflict, but we can't run away from it. We must be ready to buy them. To buy them. We must be ready for it. If we are running away because we don't want to buy white man, you can never be free, Africa. That is the only language that they understand. And that will be the only time that they will leave Africa alone to buy them, to start buying white people in Africa. I'm telling you the truth. If I say this, so many people will say, this boy don't know what he's saying. He's making violent. He's making violent. But you will not understand. You will not understand. Many people hide this truth today. They don't want to speak it out to tell you that Africa cannot be free without buying white peoples. Many people, they will not want to say this. Why? Because they are afraid of prison or to die or to be assassinated. Many people know this fact that Africa cannot be free without buying. When we don't start buying white people in Africa, that's the time we will be free. No matter how many coups we make. Look, we make coup in Niger, Mali, Burkina, Sudan, which place again? Gabon. Coup happen in many places. How many coups do that happen during these 3 years? We have like, how many coups? We have more coups happening in Africa. But what does this change? Still, now we are seeing they are even putting their military base in Africa. What does that show to you? The only way to get ourselves from the West is to start buying them in Africa. Africa belongs to Africans. If Africa try this on West, then they will kill every African. If Africa try this, to say by force we must put our military base in Europe, Europeans will invade all Africans and kill all of them. But why are we saying, you know, Africans, they give us this religion. Sorry, my peoples, let me go into religion a little bit. I don't ever want to talk about religion. But please pardon me for me to talk about religion for just 5 minutes. Nobody should see it like I'm attacking religions or any other thing. I don't attack religions. I leave people to worship whatever religion they like. I don't adjust anybody not to worship any religion. If you want, don't worship any religion. If you want, be a Christian. If you want, be a Muslim. If you want, be a Jew. If you want, be a Jad. If you want, be a unknown worshiper. If you want, be an idol worshiper. It's okay for me. Everybody have his own mind. Okay. But I want to go into religion a little bit. How they cage Africans' mind and Africans' brain. This religion thing they give to Africans. Today, an African man will tell you, no, you know, it's a sin to kill. They create Bible. They put so many things. Even Quran now, they are changing it. Muslim Quran. They create those things. They give you religion to cage your mind, not to do anything bad to them. Because they create those religion and give it to you. You will be afraid to kill them because it's a bad sin. But they are killing you. They are the one who create those Bibles and give you. They tell you that killing is a sin. Okay, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. But who is stealing today? They are stealing. And they are the one who created those Bibles and give you in Africa. They bring that religion to you in Africa. They tell you that thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not rob, thou shalt not this, thou shalt not that. But they are killing. They are killing you every day. They are stealing from you every day. And you are there because you have the Bible. Thou shalt not steal. So you will not steal from them. Thou shalt not kill. You will not kill them, but they are killing you every day. African pastors are in a big mess. African pastors are a big threat to Africa. Pastors in Africa, bring out the truth. You know what I'm saying. You know, I don't want to go into religion, but pastors in Africa are all fakes. God don't call you. No, God call you. You call yourself. You are not a pastor. There is nothing like pastor in this world. I'm the one who said it today. There is nothing like pastor in this world. Maybe so many people believe in a religion. They may think like I'm against them. I'm not against anybody's religion. But believe me, what I'm saying. It's all about Africa. What they did to us. Think about it very well. The Bible was not created by we the Africans. The Bible was created by the West and they give it to us. We read, we accept. That is it's the word from God. Okay, thou shalt not kill is true. God says thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal is true. But these people are stealing from you every day and you refuse to steal from them because of that thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, and they are killing you every day. Now you feel afraid to do anything to them. But they don't feel afraid they can do anything to you because they know what they give you. That one already tied your brain. Now you can't do nothing to them. They know whatever they did to you, you can't do nothing. Whatever when you do to them, they know that, they know that when you throw this to them, it will kill them. They will tell you, thou shalt not throw this. They will write it in Bible, thou shalt not throw this on someone. The West planned this Bible very well. You know, when they know that you throw this on them, it will kill them, they will tell you that, they will write it in Bible that thou shalt not throw this on another person. They know Africans now. They know our brain. So they cage our brain for a very long time with this same Bible. But go and read the Bible. I read Bible. I'm not a Christian, but I read Bibles, you know. I read Bibles to know the real and the fake. But the real Bible is not even running. Come on, there is nothing in the real Bible that is not in the Quran. The real Bible, if you have the real Bible, there is nothing in the real Bible that is not in Quran. There is nothing in Quran that is not in the real Bible. But now we have fake Bibles. Even sometimes we are having some fake Qurans. That was man-made Qurans. Now 21st century Qurans given to peoples. So we must understand. We must not be fooled always by these peoples. I normally don't go into religion. But trust me, it's a big problem for Africa. They cage you, cage your brain. Africans can't do nothing to a white man anymore. But white peoples are doing all sorts kind of bad things to you. They steal from you. The same Bible, they write it there. The devil, the Westerners, they create that Bible. The same Bible, they write in the Bible. The devil is here to kill, steal, and destroy. But today, when they are drawing a devil, they draw a devil with a color of a black color. To show that the devil is a black man. When they are drawing Jesus, they draw Jesus with a white color. Means Jesus is a white man. So the devil is a black man. But they are the same people who write it in that same Bible that the devil is here to kill, steal, and destroy. As a Christian, please think very well. Don't look at me whether I'm beautiful or ugly. Just listen to what is coming out from my mouth. You will understand my point. Bible was created by the Western people and they brought it to you. They write it in the Bible that the devil is here to kill, steal, and destroy. And when they are drawing devil or they want to describe devil, they describe devil as a black. They color devil as with the black color. Means devil is a black man. Black man is a devil. When they are drawing Jesus, they draw Jesus in a white color. That means white is Jesus. White is always good, black is always devil. Right? That is the first thing they insult all black peoples. The first place. They insult all black peoples. You should not even accept that Bible. In the Bible, you are seeing a devil with a black color. You are seeing Jesus picture with a white color. That's the time you should even throw that book from your hand. Because someone insults you and giving you to read it, you are insulting yourself. You see it in the Bible when they draw Jesus with a black color, with a white color. They draw the devil with a black color. They are telling you are a devil, and you are reading it. You are still continue. You believe in it, that you are a devil by yourself. You read it that you are a devil. You still believe in it. That was the first part. You must understand. Number two, they tell you that the devil is here to steal, kill, and destroy. You are not killing, you are not stealing, you are not destroying. They are the ones stealing from you, killing you, destroying you. So who is the devil? Africans think. African Christians think. Who is the devil here? They wrote it in the Bible. The same Bible they give to you. They are the one who wrote it there that the devil is here to kill, steal, and destroy. Who is the devil here? Africans are not killing, stealing, and destroying white people. White people are the one killing, stealing, and destroying Africans. So who is the devil? They are the devils, but you see how they make images to change your brain again. To believe that you are the one, you black man is the devil, and they are the Jesus. I don't normally go into religion because I don't care. If anybody believes in Christianity, please worship, continue. I don't want to change nobody's mind how you worship. But the fact is, I want people to understand some points. That's why I go into religion little bit. But normally I don't go into religions. But I want people to understand one thing, that believe in God. Pray to God in any language you like. If you want to beg God for something, there is no language that this language must be used to beg God. There is any language that you want to beg God for something, you can use your mother tongue, you can use any language to beg God. I don't normally go into religion. I know much about this Christianity, this, that. But I don't normally talk about it. I read it for myself. I leave people to worship whatever religion they like. I don't want to have problem with anybody because of religion. But it's just a point. So if the point I view here, as they draw black people in the Bible as they draw the devil as a black man in the Bible and draw themselves as a Jesus, as a white man, and draw Jesus in a white color, if that point affect anybody as a Christian, I'm sorry, and you can forgive me. If the point also I make like they wrote it in the Bible that thou shalt not kill, steal, or steal. If that point also affect anybody, I'm sorry also. You can forgive me as a Christian. If another point, the third point is the place they wrote it in the Bible that the devil is here to kill, steal, and destroy. If it affect anybody as a Christian, I'm sorry also, you can understand. But I just want to viewpoint to my peoples to understand that point. But I don't want to go against any religion. Normally, I love every religion. I respect every religion. Everybody. In any religion. You are Hindu, you are Christian, you are Muslim, you are Zeus, you are Zaz. I respect every religion. Even if it's not my religion, I respect every religion. I'm a Muslim, but though I respect everybody's religion as I respect my religion. And I prefer people also to respect that's why I respect everyone's religion out there, for people to respect mine also. I never insult anybody's religion, and I will never, because I will never insult my own religion. So why will I insult other people's religion? You know? So it's a point that people must view on it. Because if I write a book today and I write it there that you should not kill, no one should kill, no one should fight. If I wrote a book today and I write it there inside this book that nobody should kill, nobody should fight, I say it's the word from God. And I give you that book, but I'm fighting you every day and I'm killing you every day. What will you think? And I'm the one who wrote that book and give you. And say that it's a word from God, so you should accept it. Now you believe in that word, that nobody should kill, nobody should fight. But every day I'm fighting you. Every day I'm killing you. What will you think? So that's why I give you that point, because I know the Bible is not created by Africans. I know the Bible is not created by Jesus. We know it. The Bible is not created by, the Bible today you are using in churches are not created by Jesus. They are not created by Jesus. So it was created by the West to cage you in that position. They know Africans. They know the brain of Africans. When Africans, they know that before Africans will believe any other thing, let's try to remove their own traditional religion from their hand and give them our own mentality. What will stop them so that they will not fight against us? That's why Africa was unable to fight against Westerners. Why? Because Africans feel like you should not kill white man. African can kill his fellow African, it's not a problem, it's not a sin. But for African to kill a white man is a crime and it's a sin. Do you understand that point? For African to fight against his fellow African, it's not a problem, it's not a war, it's not a sin. But for an African to fight against a white man, it's a sin, it's a crime. If not, take an example. Today, ECOWAS gathered together to fight against their fellow African country for no reason. But they will never come together like that to fight against the enemies of Africa. No, because that is a sin. That is a crime. For ECOWAS to come together and fight against France or America or European Union soldiers in Africa, that is a sin and that is a crime because they are white peoples. But for ECOWAS to gather together and fight against their fellow African country, it's normal. Yeah, it's normal, very normal. For a black man to unite and fight against their fellow black man is very normal. But for black peoples to unite and fight against their enemies is a crime. That's why they create those mindset and give it to you for a very long time. They want you to be like that. You can fight against yourselves, no problem. It's not a problem. Yes. But for you to fight against them who are your enemies, they prepare your mind that your mind will never be set to fight against them. They set your mind to fight against yourselves, but never to fight against them. They created your mind. They form your mind in a way that you will never be able to unite and fight against them. But you will always be unite and separate apart and unite as a groups to fight against each other and kill each other, fight each other every day. That's why Africans can fight against each other anytime. They don't care. It's not a sin, it's not a crime, it's not a bad thing. But Africans will never come together as one. You see, when they told Africans, ECOWAS, that go and fight against this, they all come together, they unite. They all speak one voice. But today tell ECOWAS that go and fight against France from Niger. They will separate. One will go back. Another one will say, no, I can't go. Another one will say, no, I'm not involved. Another one will say, no, I will not go. Another one will say, no, I'm thinking about it. They will never agree. They set the African black mind like that to fight against each other. It's not a problem for African. But for an African to fight against his enemy is a crime. ECOWAS, African Union, can unite and invade Niger. They all unite at once. When the West called them that you should invade Niger, they all come together as one and unite. They all speak one voice. If African leaders can unite like that and speak one voice to fight the enemies of Africa, we will be free. But they set this mind like that to never fight against them. The Western people set an African mind. They reform the African minds to fight against themselves, for Africans to believe that fighting against ourselves is not a problem, but fighting against white man is a problem. But white peoples are with their own minds. They kill Africans is not a problem, but they can never fight against themselves. They set their own minds like that. They set their own minds to fight against each other. For white man mind, to fight against each other is a crime and it's a problem. But to fight against a black man is not a problem. But they set the black man mind in a way that for a black man to think like this, to fight against my fellow black man is not a problem, but to fight against white man is a problem. So black can never be united due to the mindset they give to black peoples. Black can never be united to fight against white peoples, but black will always be united to fight against their fellow black man. It's a mindset, a work of a mindset, and that mindset we are trying to change. Because the moment we are revealing to Africans what is happening to their mind, they will understand it by themselves. That is true, that their mind have been reformed, and they have to bring their original mind back. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I appreciate it when Africans still stick to listen to me and really appreciate what I'm saying, because that means the unity will come. Unity cannot come to Africa when we don't remove the mindset. We have to let them know they have, which kind of mindset they have. If we don't let Africans to know which kind of mindset they have, they can never change it. But when they know that how their mind was set, they will change it. That's why people like us, the West, will never love us. The West always fight against us. They always try to silence us. Why? Because they know when we tell Africans how their minds have been set, even 70% of Africans will already go back to their original mind. They will already believe that it's true, our mind was set like this, so we can still change it. There's a possibility to change yourself. Believe in yourself. And believe in this, that fighting against your fellow black man is a crime, but fighting against your enemies is not a crime. Believe in that, and your mind will be set free. You only can free yourself, Africa. As an African, only you can free your mind. We can only tell you how your mind have been grabbed and blackmailed, so only you can sit now and think and free yourself. Free your mind from that bondage. And we come together as one and unite and liberate ourselves and be ourselves. No more Africans migrating. If Africa don't be themselves, we will always keep on migrating. We migrate. Our fathers migrate. We migrate. If we don't careful, our children will migrate. And that's what we don't want to happen. Our children cannot become an immigrant again in Europe. For us to become an immigrant in Europe, in other European countries, and our children also will come and become a slave for Europeans again. When our great-grandfathers were slaves, our fathers were slaves, they were using our fathers, using our great-grandfathers, using our grandfathers. They use us also, so we should not allow them to come and use our own childs, our own children. You know, white people have always built future for their children to make sure that their children never become a slave for Africans. And we need to fight for that. We need to fight that white people will become a slave to us by force. Every African must put this in your mind, that we need to work hard to make sure that white people must be a slave to us. We cannot continue being a slave to them. Either they stand on their own, we stand on our own, or they become slave to us by force. One thing they must do. They must stand on their own, or they become slave to us. That is the only thing. Either they stand on their own and die in a hunger, or they came and work for us as slaves and have a little bit to survive. That's the only way. So that can happen if only we can unite. We can deal with our own mindset and change our minds from the Western grabbed colonial minds that they gave to us. After the colonial masters of Africa have bring this mindset and give it to Africans to cage their minds in one place and to put Africans' minds against each other. Whenever your fellow Africans speak, you don't appreciate. But whenever a white man speaks, you appreciate. What is doing that? Because your mind was set to against your fellow brother and to love your enemy. African mind was set to hate himself and his brothers and sisters, but to love another man who is his enemy. Just look it by yourself as an African. When you watch your fellow man, sometimes you get angry. But when you are listening to a white man, you always appreciate, and you are always very concentrate. What is happening? Because you believe in them. They make your mindset like that. They set it like that for you to believe in them more than yourself. When you believe in yourself, if you are sitting watching a white man, you look him like a fool. When you know yourself and believe in yourself, when you are sitting down watching a black man, you feel so great. Whenever I watch a black man like Julius Malema, Professor Lumumba, Whenever people like this, I'm watching them, I feel so great. But no matter how a white man become a freedom fighter, whenever if I'm watching you, I look like a fool. That you can't fool me anymore. But whenever I see an African man speaking out his mind, I feel so great. And I watch my fellow black man speaking out his mind on anything. I feel so great by myself because I'm proud of myself. So that's why when I watch my fellow black man, I see myself in you. Whenever I see a black man, I see myself in a black man. Whenever I see a white man, I don't see myself in you. So I can't feel great by watching a white man. That's how it's supposed to be for every African out there. Change your mindset by yourself. You have the power to control your mind and change it however you want. My fellow Africans. In the evening, we will have another conversation on Facebook Live by the grace of God. If we are not busy, if we can't also, then tomorrow we will do live Facebook to have some discussions in the morning. Till in the weekend, we will be bringing so many updates on the platform for Africans. And maybe when we have chance, we will open lines for people to call and we can discuss with Africans also. It's that been a long time when I have open lines for Africans to have a discussion with them on Facebook. But by the grace of God, if anybody who want to have a live with me on YouTube here or on Facebook, you can normally contact my number. My social media number is there. If you go to my Facebook page, you will meet my number there, my WhatsApp number, and you can give me a message and we can schedule it and plan. Thank you so much every African for watching me, and thank you so much for your beautiful comments, and thank you so much for collaborating with me, and thank you so much all for having a beautiful mind with me. The same mind will be set with me. I love you all, and I believe we will be liberated and Africa will be free one day by force, either they like it or not, because that is a revolution, and the revolution must pass. The revolution must come to pass, the colonization and the slavery must come to an end. And that is a revolution. It's not a word from me, but a word from God. It's not a word from me or from anybody, but we must be free. And there will be a time, and we have already seen the signs of freedom for Africa, because these are the signs that have been told, that they have been telling us since, that when these signs came, then Africa will be free. Even for Africans to migrate through Libya, it was written in some hadiths of Quran that it will happen. So it's a revolution, and when it happens, there is something going to happen. So it is a revolution already. So thank you so much for guys for being with me here. May God bless you all. May God save you all. May God save you from your enemies. Wherever you are, whatever your enemies plan against you shall never prosper. You shall always escape the bad plans of your enemies. Whatever bad your enemies plan against for you shall turn good and blessings and progressive for you. May God give us good health and long life and prosperity in our life. Whatever you put your hands in, you must be progressing. Whatever you want in life, may God make it easier for you. Wherever you are, hustling for your family, hustling for the future, may God make it easier for you. Whatever intentions you have for your future, whatever good intentions you have for family or future or for any struggle, may God make it easier for you. Whatever your plans, your enemies' intentions for you shall turn back to a blessing to you. Whatever your enemies plan against you shall turn back to your enemies. Whatever they plan against you shall turn back to them. May God bless you all. May God save us all from the from car accident, from any other incidents. May God save us all from fire incidents. May God save you from any other kind of incidents. May God save us all wherever you are. May God protect all of us and save us from any danger that is coming on our way shall turn to a blessing, or any danger that cannot be turned to a blessing shall be blocked by the thunder strike, or shall be struck by the thunder. May God bless you all. Thank you so much, guys, for being with me here. I appreciate it.